Hey, come on in. I'd like to tell you about a big story that was in the news recently. It involves Salesforce, of course, but it involves Salesforce not in the context of business, but politics. So here's the story. Marc Benioff wants the city of San Francisco to impose a homeless tax. It's a tax that will be imposed on tech companies with revenues of greater than $50 million and is expected to generate about $300 million. This is money that will be spent for housing the homeless and caring for them. Marc Benioff has been vocally supporting this homeless tax, so much that he even has spent $7 million of his own and Salesforce money to help pass this measure. He has supported this measure so much that now when people think of this homeless tax, they think about Marc Benioff. Marc says it's the personal responsibility of business in San Francisco to care for the homeless. On the other hand, some of the leading tech titans in the city are opposing the tax, such as Jack Dorsey of Twitter, Paul Graham from Y Combinator, and Mark Pincus, the founder of Zynga. Even the mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, is against the tax measure. And here's what she said. I do not believe doubling what we spend on homeless without new accountability, when we don't even spend what we have now efficiently, is good government. Basically, she's saying what we're spending currently has been inefficient. Therefore, why double the amount of money we spend? Let's focus on bringing efficiency on the money we currently spend. The city currently spends $300 million, and this tax measure is expected to raise another $300 million. I wholeheartedly agree with this assessment. Government has never been efficient. This is no surprise, right? This is the definition of government. Inefficiency, lack of accountability, waste. How efficiently, how effectively do we expect the government to care for the homeless in the city? Instead, what Marc could have done is brought together the tech companies or anyone else who is really caring for the homeless, like NGOs, some church organizations, and had a discussion on how can we help the homeless of the city. Maybe teaching them some skills, maybe helping some of them overcome their drug habits. Basically, this would be an association of highly motivated and professional people who really want the money to be spent well, because they're spending their personal time and personal hard-earned money to help this cause. Now, on the other hand, what will happen right now is that the city, some bureaucrats will get this money. It'll just be tax money, right? It's not money that they earned. How efficiently, how hard do you think they will work to make sure that this money gets through to the homeless? You answered your own question. Probably not so hard. Money is always used much more efficiently when it's actually used by the person who earned it instead of some bureaucrats. There are thousands of examples of government efficiency. All they differ is just in scale and their notoriousness. Just Google the big dig. Furthermore, according to San Francisco's own research, there are about 4,500 homeless in the city. So the city currently spends about $66,000 per homeless person, and they're doubling the amount they're spending, right? So this would be about $130,000 per year per homeless person. That's a lot of money. If they just hand out a cash check of $130,000 to each homeless person, that homeless person would become an upper income person. But no, what will happen is there will be committees, there will be government bureaucrats, managers, directors, some inspectors, a whole bunch of overhead, and the money will be consumed, and then what trickles down to the homeless is very little. And I'm sure Mark knows all this. I'm sure he knows about the government waste and efficiency. So I'm really surprised why he supports this measure so much. I know he's super smart, and I know that he's been actually helping the homeless for many years by spending millions and millions. But I don't know why he wants the government to do this now. As a member of the Salesforce Ohana, I call on Mark to stop meddling in politics and to focus on business. He needs to be laser focused on business to make sure that Salesforce remains the best CRM out there. Focus on business. Focus on what you can directly influence. Focus on creating jobs. As a concerned member of the Salesforce ecosystem, I call on Mark to look at the example of his mentor, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs heroically resisted getting involved in politics. He stayed laser focused on making Apple the most valuable company in the world by delivering the most innovative products out there. Marc Benioff should do the same. Once more, I ask Mark, I plead with Mark to stay out of politics and to stay focused on business. That's what he's good at. As my favorite economist, Milton Friedman, said, the business of business is to do business. And that's what Salesforce should do. That's what Mark should do. Thank you so much.